First of all, with respect to the issue of the date and is it January of this or September of that, etc. It's just a question of they had to put something in place to sort of start it, and there's already discussion of a number of different platforms that are actually full-time connected at all times to the internet and are constantly, continuously ingesting, right? So I don't know if they redo the base model and the algorithm, every time. Just the other day, for example, Elon Musk has said, well, he's going to be putting out an AI in the next period of time that is, first of all, no guardrails, number one, and number two is instantly, continuously attached. So it'll be able to comment on things that are in conversation in the news right now. I think the question about Bard and OpenAI being live to the internet is an interesting thing, because I'm not sure whether the whole up-to-date internet, and I could be wrong on this, Roy, you can correct me, is actually connected to the actual training data, or whether it's just able to pull data from it. And that's a difference, because if you pull data from it, that's good, that brings you up to date, but it doesn't form. The actual ingested data is what helps build the more robust algorithms. So, well, it's true. What's the difference between a ChatGPT 3.5 and 4? It's the difference between 175 billion data elements and 280 billion data elements, and therefore the model is a little bit more robust. We can argue on this one till the cows go home. All I can say is that we're moving to there fast. With respect to the issue of regulation, this is a really interesting one, because whether it's the what the big platforms in the United States have signed, or whether it's I'm talking about the voluntary code of conduct, or whether it's what's happening in Europe right now with the EU's regulations, or where I'm based in Canada, which is the Bill C-27, the Digital Communications Implementation Act, etc. There's a couple things. First of all, there's a big argument that's being made amongst in the AI community that, these codes of conduct are designed to lock out innovators and lock in the big players. And I think that there is some argument to that. I also think that we got to have some code of conduct, otherwise we're going to have problems. I also think that the problem with voluntary codes of conduct is that the bad actors, whether it's the bad state actors, Russia, Iran, North Korea, those kinds of organizations, or organized crime, whether they in fact, with their platforms, will actually hew to this or not. And it's kind of hard to tell exactly whether they will or they won't. I think where it's going to be an important thing is what is the impact on public trust in the platforms. So, for example, my newsletter that just went out today talked about the junkification of the internet, and it proposed that there'd be a way that people self-identify the content as being AI derived or zero AI or 100% AI, just at a certain scale. But even that kind of idea, if it ever took off, how do you know people would actually abide by that? It's a bit of cops and robbers with respect to, well, you know what, the platforms have tested a bunch of them, the claim to determine whether something's AI or whether it's not AI is that gets good, and then guess what, the platforms get better, and so on and so forth. And just like we've got a spam, anti-spam kind of cops and robbers going on forever, in a certain sense, I think that it's a bit of a mugs game trying to use a program to determine whether it is or is not. It all boils down to what the public trust is, and I think there's a connection to brand at the very same time. If somebody's brand is known as fill in the blank, and the AI is able to grow that and extend that brand to where it needs to be, that's one thing. And same thing with the impact of innovation. If it turns out that the end user, whether it be some supply chain thing or a general public or prospects, customers, if the trust is high, it's good. And regulation can help, but it doesn't guarantee that people are safe, or that they suddenly will not delegate their safety to somebody else and therefore put themselves on, at risk.